2024 All Section, Class B. Justin Parks, Hen Hud. The junior overcame being the focus of every opposing defense and enjoyed a breakout season for the Sailors. Parks had over 900 yards of total offense and scored 12 touchdowns, becoming one of the area's true game breakers. In one game this season, Parks scored as a runner, receiver, on a defensive touchdown, and as a kick returner. Connor Bryan, Pelham. You're going to hear a lot about stats tonight, but with Bryan, let's talk about leadership and toughness. A 3-year starter and 2-time captain, Bryan switched positions to play offensive line last season for the Pelicans. This year, he gutted through a torn labrum in the final 7 games for the Pelham Pelicans, serving as a 2-way starter. Joseph Saldiveri, Rye-Neck. The anchor in the middle of the Rye-Neck defense the last 2 seasons was Saldiveri, who muscled up against bigger linemen on most plays and consistently won those battles. The veteran starter posted 43 tackles, including 29 solo, with 3.5 sacks as Rye-Neck earned a berth in the Class B playoffs. Anton O'Mudson, Pearl River. The breakout back of Rockland County may have been O'Mudson, who led the conference with a school record 1,245 yards and 11 touchdowns. Anton had no issues taking over 200 carries on the season and still being fresh by the end of the season, helping the Pirates beat rival Nanuet for the 2nd year in a row and secure a home game in the Class B playoffs. Brendan Carlacci, Pearl River. The veteran wide receiver didn't just have a stellar senior year, he left among the best at the position in school history. Carlacci caught 42 passes this fall and closed his career with 72 catches, both of which are school records. Carlacci was just as impressive defensively, coming up with 4 interceptions and a fumble recovery. TJ Lanise, Pearl River. Lanise burst onto the scene this season and quickly emerged among the section's most efficient passers. He threw for 1,121 yards and 9 touchdowns, doing it by completing 72% of his throws and tossing just 2 interceptions. Lanise carried the team in big games, highlighted by a 3-touchdown effort against eventual Section 1 champion Ardsley as the Pirates went 7-2. Matthew McSherry, Bronxville. If you didn't have the ability to muscle up with McSherry, you weren't beating Bronxville. The 6'3", 280-pounder had another dominant season in the trenches for the Broncos. After leading the team to a Class C championship and earning All-State honors as a junior, he paved the way for Bronxville to go unbeaten in Class B until the semifinals. McSherry is a big-time college prospect. Davis Patterson, Bronxville. After earning All-State and winning a section title as a junior, Patterson came back in a big way this fall. A school record holder and national track star, Patterson was so explosive as a running back again for the Broncos, piling up just under 1,000 yards rushing and scoring 16 touchdowns as one of the most rugged backs in all of Section 1. Danny Kelty, Bronxville. The Broncos defense was blessed with an incredible amount of speed this season. Then there was Kelty, who had speed, but also had power as much as any defensive player in the conference. Kelty was simply a force wherever he lined up and shut down opposing running games. He was also a gifted receiver at tight end. Vincent Duffy, Nanuet. Versatility was what defined Duffy as the centerpiece of the Golden Knights this fall, shining in all 3 phases despite football being his second sport. A Seton Hall University baseball commit, Duffy recorded 55 tackles in the middle of the Nanuet defense, while also accounting for over 600 yards of total offense. Justin Reaper, Ardsley. The senior defensive end proved to be a menace on both sides of the ball, and teams wisely learned to run the other way. Even that didn't always work, especially in the postseason when the Panthers' defense was at its best. He was brilliant in the Section 1 championship game, disrupting Pleasantville's Wildcat offense and helping the 6th-seeded Ardsley Panthers claim the Class B championship. Trey Fiore, Ardsley. The senior captain was a leader on both sides of the ball for the Section 1 champs, serving as the Panthers' top perimeter target in the passing game, as well as a terrific downfield blocker. As linebacker, he had a knack for making the big plays, the biggest coming in the postseason as Ardsley beat 3 teams they had lost to in the regular season en route to a title. Amadi Dulcine, Ardsley. When Dulcine found his groove as the featured back in the Ardsley offense, the Panthers were never the same. The 6-foot, 190-pound junior was a perfect blend of speed and power, and he elevated his play late in the season and in the playoffs. He ran for 203 yards in a win over Nanuet and had 94 tough yards and a pair of touchdowns in the Section 1 championship. Shane O'Brien, Ardsley. When the Panthers went on their late season run to a Class B championship, a lot of it had to do with how tough they played in the trenches. O'Brien was the epitome of that as a blocker, run stuffer, and in pass protection, showing incredible versatility on both sides of the ball. He was at his best in the semifinal upset of Bronxville and came up with a key interception to help beat Pleasantville in the championship. Shane Speckman, Ardsley. While he may have been undersized for his positions, there really was no true way to measure the heart Speckman played with, or the impact he made on every single play. On the season, the veteran two-way lineman had 79 tackles, including 19 for loss and 2.5 sacks, while forcing 4 fumbles. Speckman was a terrific blocker out in space and muscled up with the best that anyone faced in Class B this season. Tyler Mariscott, Byram Hills. One of the region's true game changers, Mariscott broke out in a big way this fall. A 4-year starter and captain, Mariscott scored as a quarterback, a runner, receiver, defensive player, and in the return game. And he did it when it mattered most, scoring fourth quarter game-winning touchdowns against Putnam Valley, Nanuet, and of course, Pleasantville to carry the Bobcats into the Class B playoffs. Michael Bardoni, Byram Hills. The senior brought a level of physicality to the offense and defense for the Bobcats. While defenses focused on stopping Tyler Mariscott, Bardoni broke free for touchdowns of 60 yards or more 3 times. He was a hard-hitting free safety on defense, leading the team in interceptions. Daniel Leff, Byram Hills. Leff was the heart and soul of the Byram Hills defense, which played its best down the stretch to secure a Class B playoff berth. The senior captain contributed 6 touchdowns as a running back, but was a stalwart at linebacker, leading the team with 72 tackles in only 7 games, earning the team's Defensive MVP award. James Mealy, Westlake. The veteran two-way lineman was as much of a difference maker up front as anyone in the conference this fall. Mealy was the focus of so many schemes to run away from, yet the 3-year starter posted 67 tackles and 5 sacks for a Westlake squad that went unbeaten in the regular season and earned the number 1 seed in the Class B playoffs. Jack Lucido, Westlake. You could make a case for Lucido as one of the most underrated players in all of Class B. The senior led a vaunted Westlake defense in tackles, recording 71 with 2 sacks and an interception as a linebacker. He was the heartbeat of the defense that posted 5 shutouts and reached the Class B semifinals. Jake Zano, Westlake. This Westlake team was blessed with so many talented two-way players, and Zano fit the mold to a T over the last 3 seasons as a starter. Zano was a rugged, change-of-pace runner, piling up over 300 yards on the ground and 5 touchdowns. As a strong safety, he had 58 tackles and 4 interceptions, one of which he returned for a touchdown. Brian McPhee, Pleasantville. McPhee was a veteran two-way starter for the Panthers, who became a dominant force on defense in the postseason. McPhee was unblockable in wins over Westlake and Byram Hills to lead the Panthers to the Class B championship game, finishing the year with 18.5 tackles for loss and 9 sacks. He caught 22 passes for 4 touchdowns as a tight end. Nick Reish, Pleasantville. The big play downfield threat for the Panthers was Reish, who fits the mold of the program's talented football and lacrosse standouts. Reish caught 26 passes this season, compiling 359 yards and 3 touchdowns. At cornerback, he had 59 tackles and 3 interceptions, the biggest being a pick 6 to secure a playoff win over Westlake. Shane Muller, Pleasantville. The Pleasantville defense locked in during the postseason, and Muller was a major reason why. The senior was a 3-year starter in the secondary and stepped up his game to post 51 tackles while opposing teams rarely threw in his direction. He was also a vital part of the offense as a blocker for the Class B section finalists. Class B Player of the Year, Louis Sadow, Pleasantville. One of the few holdovers from the recent Pleasantville football era, Sadow took over a leadership role on both sides of the ball this season and flourished. He was again the heart in his 3rd season starting on defense, recording 107 tackles, 3 sacks, and an interception. In the playoffs, Sadow became the workhorse on offense, running the Wildcat to a T, scoring 6 touchdowns, and guiding the Panthers to the Class B championship for the 4th year in a row, beating Byram Hills and then rival Westlake.